This show is part of the HeadStuff podcast network.
Well, that's a great way to begin the episode.
Yeah, you can include where I said do not include whatever Tony said.
We just started the podcast with an unincludable. But now they're all wondering, what do we say?
Too hot for TV.
They're attractive.
They're very attractive.
Hot and loud.
And a little bit sad.
He was the best guy around.
Oh my, is it hot in here or what?
You're an attractive guy.
It's the fabulous Tony Cantwell.
I'm talking about Shane Daniel Byrne.
Me lord, have you heard of the beautiful new ale that they've made over yonder back castle? It's called Rero. It's a delightful lager made over in Isle of Ireland, in this county, Wicklow, Kilwanton. A beautiful, light, refreshing ale, and it sponsors yonder podcast, the Young Hot Guys.
Thanks, Rero, for sponsoring this podcast.
Tony, your new show is coming out
Thank you so much.
On the RTE player. Good boy. Now, it's about...
Is it about a dog?
No. It's actually not. No, it's...
Talk us through it.
No,
Talk
it
us
is
through it.
It's a comedy, kind of semi-autobiographical, but I think what it really speaks to is just the kind of, the distraction of the youth and how, Jesus, the first thing you ever put online could land you in some heated political debate, or could be the first draft of the first idea you ever had, and it's your seminal piece. And I think,
so and it says here you have ADHD in this. Is that? Do you think you're sort of co-opting the ADHD movement?
Yes.
And Deirdre O'Kane, she's just brilliant, isn't she?
Isn't she lovely?
She had a very difficult role to play in that she was kind of the representation of all the kind of criticisms people with ADHD kind
And
of
is it
suffer.
funny? It's meant to be a funny show.
No, it's very funny. It's very
Yeah.
good. Yeah, very good. Shane
Tony,
Daniel Byrne's in it.
you're boring.
Yes.
Yes.
You're boring. You're not very entertaining. I don't want to watch your show.
I'm not enticed to
not
watch a
enticed.
comedy show.
What's going on there? Why are we feeling like that?
No. Sorry, is this live? Can we do this again?
This is
Can we do it
going
again?
out live.
Yes.
Plune.
Yeah.
Of
It
course.
wasn't what he said.
Well, Tony's show is to be avoided on the RTE player. It's out now.
Me and Killian are setting up blogs, and we're going to write anonymous blogs slating it.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, Killian especially. I am
Well, you're in it.
one time.
I'm not allowed to be in
Only
it because I
one
look too
time.
much like Tony.
Which I found very, very
Let that
flattering.
go. I think you should let that go.
Oh no, I've let it go. Let it go. But I think it's a very funny reason not to be in a show.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm
It's
glad.
a very funny reason they made up.
I'm so glad you bought into
Just
that.
tell him. Just say like that. He looks too much like your son. That's what. That's what. they said.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I think I said Killian Sundermann, and then I brought back Killian Shitterman, and I was like, okay, I need to find a nicer way of saying
You
it to
said
him.
Killian Sundermann, and they wrote back Killian Shitterman.
Yeah, and I was like, I need to have a nicer way. Oh, that's just because you look too much like me. It's me trying to compliment myself to give you the bad news. No, look, there's always season 2. Kevin Backhurst, I got a photo of Kevin Backhurst at the premiere.
The director general.
Yeah,
of
the
RTE.
Director General of
RTE.
Yes, yes.
The man who had Tubbs's cojones in his hands.
Yeah, he did.
And went with.
Does Tubbs have a podcast now?
Yeah, the bookshelf.
The bookshelf.
Yeah, because I didn't get on it.
You
it's
tried.
like, I wanted to get on it to talk about my book, but
that's too
he only
silly.
invites like rugby players and presidents and
You played rugby.
Simon Harris. Well, I did, yeah, but I wasn't very good at it.
You're the president.
Yeah, that's true, but I wasn't very good at it.
Why would you read another rugby player's book if you've already read a rugby player's book? Surely it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We were freezing and we worked so hard and it was difficult. My wife was, and she was heavily pregnant and I was in the Stade de France. And sure, at the end of the day, the lads really pulled it out of the bag and we got a bit of flack and that was tough. And, we came back to an icy reception and the coach really gave it to us. But in the end, it's so great to represent Ireland. Like, what have they got to say?
Yeah, he was a bit of a messer in the dressing room. One time he put a load of knives and forks in my bag. So when I opened up my bag, I thought I'd be finding my kit. You put your socks on, your shoes on, your boots on. I opened it up. There's the knives and forks from breakfast are there. It was absolutely fucking hilarious.
It's absolute scenes. And
It's just
I
scenes.
remember we were against a particular French team and we were all a bit nervous, in the dressing room. And I said, lighten it up. I said, lads, well, look, I suppose this is our match to lose. And they absolutely cracked up. I remember Bod actually picked me up on his shoulders, and I'd never felt so alive.
He held me close actually, and I really felt that connection actually.
And I whispered in his ear, does Amy do that to you? Does Amy be giving you that? And he's like, stop.
I don't like rugby worship. I don't like the strength. You know, people say that when they watch it. The strength of them, the size of them. It's like, of course.
That's their job.
That's what they're doing. They work
That's
out
their
in the
job.
gym.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know,
fast.
they are so big though.
He's so fast.
They are so big.
It's cool seeing big humans. I remember I was going for a swim in the 40 foot and the I think it must have been the Leinster team or something like that came along and they're massive. They're really big guys. And that's kind of
Dongways.
Dongway.
budgie smugglers. More like they were smuggling fucking big fucking kilos, I'd say.
Albatross, I'd say. Budgie, more like.
that would be look like
better.
a tumour.
Saw James Lowe in my local coffee place because I'm rich.
He seems lovely.
And he's huge, but you know, even on the pitch, he looks
He's
quite
too
small.
small fry for me to know who that is. I'm sorry, he's not high profile enough.
He's a
I
New
don't
Zealand
know
guy,
the
didn't
name
play for New
James
Zealand,
Lowe.
Plays
No.
for Ireland. He's
No,
New
no,
Zealand.
no, nothing to me means
Whoa.
nothing to me.
But they are very boring. That's what's quite funny about them, though. Like they seem nice, but they're just very like almost like some sort of mental lobotomy has happened.
they don't have a very
lobotomized themselves with rugby.
They don't have a very interesting
Fans
life
or-
because
or
all
the
they have to
players?
be so strict.
I mean, the players.
The players who play or the fans?
The players who play.
The players who play.
I mean, he was a real player.
Who's a real player? I mean, he doesn't have the personality of someone like Shampla, Ryan Giggs.
Ryan Giggs, who
Ryan
fucking-
Giggs, Jeu de foot, Ryan Giggs, Shampla.
I have to say that Ryan Giggs is Shampla. Nothing happened there.
I've lost. I
know
didn't
when
actually
sometimes
know where
you
that was going.
Yeah,
I was trying to jump in, but it was
Nothing
like.
happened
you sometimes
Yeah.
think I'll start this off and see where it goes, and when you learn your improv, you know, in the
I
classes,
thought you were going to do kind of, Shampla, Ryan Giggs, Kishvel, player, and Sanam, Ryan Giggs. They were going to speak
I
Irish
don't
and French
understand that.
accent.
Well,
Well, it was
no, I
Irish
mean-
and a French accent. That
Yes.
was what you were doing. Okay.
At the weekend, I enjoy playing football with my brothers, and my school uniform is a navy jumper, navy trousers, and with a crest on the jumper.
I
and
come
we also
from
wear a tie.
Dunleary, beside the sea. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, what a pleasure.
I live in a house with my brothers and my sister. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister.
I like to watch the television. For example, The Simpsons. For example, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. For example, Friends. For example,
I like to go to the cinema with friends, or maybe
Sure.
to the coffee shop.
Yes.
And I also like a party with fizzy pop.
yes.
I play lots of sports. I love sports. For example, basketball. For example, football. For example, tennis. For example, golf.
I like hamburgers, but I prefer pizza.
My favorite color is blue.
Yeah, but then there's the other bits that give you like the real serious.
We're doing an
bits.
Irish oral right now. by the way.
Yeah. But then, you know what? I remember
then
doing
you
French.
accidentally
was like,
put in the French
I think a
word.
real problem would be a lot of crime and drugs. I believe there should be more severe punishments. They throw that in because you have to do your subjonctif or your mokanila.
Yeah. I love that you're discussing climate change in French.
Yes.
It's just like,
And would you be throwing in a couple of und?
und.
Did you ever accidentally
No,
throw in
but
a und?
my French teacher told me that I spoke French with a German accent, which is funny.
That's funny.
Someone
Like when you
French.
did you do German as a leaving cert subject?
Yeah, but just went in on the day and just.
What's he going to do?
So good.
Yeah.
Doing
And
gay as a leaving
outside,
cert
did you have to
subject?
do an oral in that? And did you just go in and chat to the person?
Did you know what I did? I went in to the oral and I wore a Germany jersey. This is a good little tip.
Whoa.
This is leaving cert tips.
Because you had no school uniform?
Dress the part.
We had no school uniform, and then I wore a Germany jersey, and then if you want to get, I wanted to talk about because Germany were played in the it must have been the 2006 World Cup and done really well. 2008 World Cup and
Really
done
boring
really well.
detail to work on.
Anyway,
Get going. It must have been. Well, wait. Hold on. One of the Euros.
In terms of
I'm trying to think now.
World Cup, it would have been
The Athens Olympics was 2004.
Marhampla.
You went in.
But
you're
she
doing-
asked me about it, and I talked about it, and that's what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, very good.
So I just kept like going like this, like
You
holding
nearly
my
have better
jersey.
spoken German than her, though. Surely, like I mean,
No, my German is good, but it's not like as good as someone who's like spent all their time studying. I have
Academically,
massive grammatical errors. Use der, die, das very the way I
Der, die,
want
das.
to.
do they have? Do they have the? Do you know what? Gross. I was going to say, do they have the gendered tense or gendered nouns in German?
They have dirty das.
Dirty das.
Yeah. So
das.
it's like that.
Imagine you went in
Adidas.
and you only knew the colours, and you went in with a really long top hat that was like a rainbow top hat, and you're just waiting for her to like ask you about the colours, you know, like ask you about crime, and you're like looking at the hat. I don't like crime,
Also,
but I love my hat.
Das ist ein bisschen wie mein Top Hat.
Also, I made a gay joke and no one heard, and I felt bad.
Oh, go on.
No, just you were like, you said, did you do German in the Leavenscert? And I was like, that's not fair. It's like him doing gay in the Leavenscert.
I would have
Sorry,
failed
that
it.
was-
Yeah, the leaving cert.
Yeah,
If
you
there
failed,
was
you
a,
would have
if there was a
done.
gay exam, I wouldn't have done very well at the
Yeah.
time. I didn't study. I was not prepared. I hadn't put pen to paper.
Really?
Yeah, but
you hadn't studied.
I hadn't studied. I hadn't done a jot.
Did you have it grinds?
You hadn't
Do
done your
any
practical.
grinds?
I wouldn't have minded grinding.
Oh my God. Did you ever challenge anyone to a fight?
A duel? No.
No?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to a fight.
No.
I couldn't do any of those comedy ones either. I couldn't do the
Roast,
roasts.
I couldn't do a
couldn't do
roast.
that.
Oh my God.
Too nice.
I go in there with like loads
I'm just
of,
a lovely fella.
I'm a lovely guy. I go in there with all my ammo, and then they probably say something like, you know, like, well, you know, it doesn't take 4 eyes to realize he's not very talented. And I would immediately just fucking sick. And I'd be like reluctant, being like, Killian's so German that he's an Argentinian. This
You
is
think they'd go
fuck-
for your glasses straight in?
No, they say something much worse. I can't even imagine.
Probably your beard.
No.
Even the joke of
probably
the
wouldn't.
slag.
I
can't handle it.
I just picked something.
I
just
can't
picked
handle it.
something.
Do we? Whenever we post a photo of us, people always think that they're surprised that I'm the tallest.
Who do they think is the
That's
tallest?
very
Tony?
They always
Right.
think Tony's the tallest.
Really?
And people always think I'm surprised that I'm tall.
I have the voice of a very tall man, like the Colossus of Rhodes.
We were discussing Colossus of Rhodes
discussing
offline.
Colossus of
We
Rhodes
can't
offline.
talk about it. It's very
Sorry,
private.
you guys aren't around, but we're often discussing things like Descartes and the Colossus of Rhodes,
Mm.
and Greek mythology, and how that feeds into our comedy and tragic comedy and that sort of stuff. So it's nice of you to join us in the sort of more dumbed down version of it. But this is
We have to dumb it down for you.
Play
because
a
you're
bit of
all so
character.
thick.
Look, we play.
But why?
They
why
know
do,
they're
do
thick,
I give
Tony.
off small guy energy?
No, it could be
No.
just the size of your head in proportion to your shoulders or something. I don't know.
So I have.
You have a
I
long
just
head.
made
Made
a
that
little
up.
pea head.
No, you have a long head.
Little P, what?
I've got a little pea head.
That's the only reason why you're tall.
He
You
said
have a
that
long
in
head.
proportion to my shoulders, my head's small.
We're all above average height, and we don't need to get. Isn't it?
I don't think I am.
I-
You push this narrative that I'm in some way tall.
You're
not,
tall.
I'm not a tall person.
You are.
I think Tony's saying you're tall because you're taller than him.
I don't know if I'm even taller than Tony.
Or is he taller than you?
Oh, we're going to do this. Is this like fucking day 2 of a stag? We're taking off our shoes and going back to back and measuring how tall we are.
Do they do that at a stag?
They do everything at a stag.
Do they measure
Everything.
front to front?
No, you got to get your heads right next to each other. You got to go lips to lips. We're not going to be able to get an accurate measurement unless you go lips to lips.
Ass to ass.
Ass to ass.
No, the way you got to do it is you got to turn him around. I'll face him, and you got to bend him over. This is how you measure. This is how the doctor does
You
it.
got to measure him at a right angle. We got to measure you perpendicular.
Get a chubby on, bro. Come on, let's see. Anyway, that's gross.
That's terrible.
I like having a podcast, do you?
Yeah.
I like it. I sometimes forget that it's something that I do. I'm like, we do this every week, if not twice a week.
Yes.
And sometimes it's like, it doesn't feel like I'm a person. Would you say, they always call you a comedian, a podcaster, you know what I mean? I won't take on that moniker.
No, you won't.
Moniker.
You're entitled to moniker, Geller. You're entitled to it, though. You are a podcaster.
I'm a podcaster. With the guy, Dwayne Dugan, the comedian and friend, he made my poster for for my show, and he put on co-host of Young Hot Guys, and I was like, I don't feel like we're hosting anything. Do you?
Not really. I mean, we're not very great on current events.
I don't think so.
Oh, we do current events.
I suppose a little bit.
What
you
was
know.
it? What was we talked about?
What was we
Coney
talking about?
2012?
What was we talked about?
What was we talking about? Coney Twentable?
What was we talking about? Coney Twentable, for example, Coney Twentable. No, I suppose we do. We need to do an election special, I think.
A live election special.
A live
That would be
election
good
Let's
special.
do a live.
In the nip.
How could we do a live?
We'd have to do all the elections.
Whatever.
We'd
Come
have
on
to do
the
them
nip,
all,
swim
so
with-
that we're not kind of like focusing on just Western politics. We'd have to do Zanzibar. We'd have to do, Moscow. We'd have to do all of them. We'd have to go to East.
I have to come back to the nip thing. Tony's suggestion, was that on the bonus? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Either way, it was
You
the last
wanted
time we
us
were
to
here.
be
And
in
you were
the
like,
nip.
oh, your podcast where you like pay a pay-per-view podcast where we just sit there. And I was like, I actually made my head spin of how naive that is of you. Like, that would last forever. I was like, what are you talking? It's not like they'd all pay the thing and no one would mention it, or no one would criticize your body, or no one would share it on Twitter and all, or
It'd be everywhere.
Reddit.com.
Yeah.
Like,
It would be hard. It would be tough.
It wouldn't be.
But I'm desperate to see you in the nip. I would crawl across broken glass
I went
to get a peek.
I went swimming in the nip
Recently.
because
Oh my God.
I've done I'm doing a whole 2 charity swims in the nip.
Oh my God.
I did one the other day and actually was pretty pleased with it. I was like, hey, check me out.
Does it feel any different?
Swimming in the nip? Swimming in the nip is 1 million times better than swimming
Oh,
with
it's
shorts.
incredible.
Really?
Have you ever done that?
Have you never swam in the nude?
I have not.
Anyone listening,
come
you really
on.
should have swum in the nude.
At your age.
I know. I look.
You have to have done
I don't know how you're going to find time now because you've got kids.
You've got the kids.
You
Can't-
idiots.
Yeah, I know. And I can't be all
Did
like
you and
this.
Terry never take a little breakaway to Greece or something? Maybe on the classes of roads. Something like that.
No.
You never did anything like that?
Nothing to, just your bog standard bit of dogging or whatever, but nothing like actual, like, in the water.
I mean, dogging, sure.
Yeah,
Dogging,
Sure. You're still, there's plenty of time for dogging even with kids.
No, but naked out in the woods, in the beach, but not actually in the water.
Oh, Tony,
great
you
crack.
should.
It's
really
very
nice.
liberating.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd feel a nice little
Feels
tickle on the
right.
inside of my leg.
Yeah.
It feels right.
It does feel nice.
The way it should be. Night swimming.
But
Deserves a quiet night.
the funny thing is what happens is when you go in the nip at some beach and then people arrive at the beach and you're in the water, then you're stuck in the water. That's the funny part of it.
Wow.
Yeah, so you got to choose the location properly because I think we did it once.
And then
we
all
got
the
in.
co-eds take your clothes and run off.
Oh my
co-eds
God,
took
what
our
are they
clothes
like?
And then you have
they
to
ran
run
off.
through
But
the
luckily
town.
Luckily, it turned out that she was my sister and we were twins.
Yeah.
And so we swapped and I went to live with my mum in London and she went to live with my dad in America.
I was not anticipating Parent Trap be
But
the
they
movie
took- that
reference
was-
that
no,
you're
I was
talking
thinking
about.
of more like
He was thinking
road trip or
road
Euro trip or one of those
No,
kind
they
of.
did that in Parent Trap.
They did not go
They took the
skinny dipping
clothes?
in the Parent
There was
Trap.
a skinny dipping scene in Parent Trap where
There
the
was
clothes
not a
were
skinny
stolen.
dipping scene in the. They were
I didn't
swimming.
see the Parent
Absolutely
Trap
is.
because I would have been an adult
The
having
clothes
seen
were stolen.
Parent
That's
Trap.
what happens in Parent Trap.
Why would they be skinny dipping in a children's film?
Because they're on camp. They're at camp. They're doing bold things on camp.
I don't.
I don't believe
You guys don't know about camp, but that's the kind of thing that goes on at camp.
But if you're looking for that kind of shit, movie The War of Buttons.
Oh my god! Oh
The lads do get their kit out. Anyway, no, I simply must. If anyone knows any fine nudie swimming spots, please do message in at YHG Pod.
I know
Let me
them.
know.
We'll talk about it after.
Oh, great.
Brown Willy Wisdom, that's what my brother's friends used to call it. You know the old men who like just sit out in the sun and their willies are really brown.
They are, famously.
They call
willies.
it Brown Willy Wisdom. It's like
Brown
this
Willy
sort of
Wisdom.
thing that you kind of almost you kind of get illuminated or you reach a higher level of consciousness. And
Enlightenment of some-
enlightenment
yeah.
of sorts, and that's Brown Willy Wisdom. It's when
That's
you
what
kind
the
of-
Enlightenment was about.
Yes.
That's what that period of
brownness.
history was about.
But you're already so tan, Killian. I imagine that when you're like in your 50s, it'll be jet black.
Yeah.
You're schlong.
Okay. Come on now.
It'll be brown anyway.
Come on now.
Well,
Come
look,
on now. I don't know what I want to happen
You'll
next.
find out who this is the brownest when we do the live
I'm not doing that.
election special that's coming up. What else
Yeah.
is going on?
God.
Jesus.
What
See,
else
this is
is
the
going
thing.
on?
Well, I went away this week on the weekend.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we took the van and we went off. We went to. I booked what I thought was like the best sauna in Ireland, or
Wow.
spa in Ireland. It was a really really cool place.
Best spa in Ireland
Turns
right
out
fucking here.
it was.
Oh, shit, yeah, sorry.
Hillary, cut out where Tony calls me a spaz.
No, it's good that I learned.
Well, I don't know if you've said that before, but I don't know if that's
Wait, I actually fully didn't know you couldn't say spa.
because it's related to an old-fashioned term for somebody disabled.
I think it always was, but we just, yeah.
Yeah. No, it always. Yeah, but
Keep
so
something on your face.
is the coffee. That's the second time Tony got coffee off
Sorry,
my
let me
face
get that
in
for
the
you.
past few days. Yeah.
Sorry, you went to the best spa in Ireland.
Well, no, I booked a spa for Anna's birthday and
If
we
you
went
want to book
off.
this spa, you can get onto Avary Talent. Sorry.
How much are you going to leave in? I'll leave it in. Leave it in. Come on, what am I
Sorry.
doing? Why am I
I know.
cleaning this up? No, leave it in, Hillary.
No,
Let's all
sorry.
say a few more.
Sorry.
You're getting out with the fucking sweeping dustpan and brush and cleaning up the pocket. Oh my god!
Nearly a spillage.
Sorry, go on.
The way he's holding this coffee cup by the bottom rim. What's
Yeah,
going
I'm
on?
holding it by the bottom because somehow Tony just wiped the coffee off my face. This is a shit podcast.
This is a really good podcast. This is this is exactly the podcast. These are my favorite podcasts.
No.
Okay,
This
so
was, if you were in the youth theatre, I'd make us do a shakeout. Like this is.
Okay,
let's
go
do a
on.
shakeout.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
1, 2, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Very good, Killian. Very caught on board so quick with the shaker. He wasn't aware of it, but then he knew that we go to twos after fours. Yeah, but that's good though, Killian.
Rhythm. I'm in a
You were on
band.
the spot.
Well, I did some theatre stuff this summer, and it's all about this pre kind of acting stuff. It's so all about releasing. You do the silliest, dumbest
Were
stuff.
they stretching?
Oh, stretching, but also playing these really stupid games that are so embarrassing.
Zip, zap, zop.
Zip Zap Boy, I
Zip.
call that one.
Yeah,
Zop.
zip, zap, zop, that kind of thing. All these really ridiculous things. It's all about completely breaking down any sense of feeling nervous or performing or whatever. We're going to be as silly as we can in front of each other, but it's just really embarrassing. I was
really
like really
embarrassing.
like, I'm doing something wrong here. But then once you break that down, you're better at acting.
I think that there's something lovely about comedy sometimes. Comedy, everyone has this image of like this edge of like it's so tough and they're all it's the mean streets and you know what I mean, you got to earn your stripes and all this shit. But actually you're so vulnerable in front of each other. At the time I supported Tony a couple of years ago in Limerick maybe, and I was like, oh my God, I was overwhelmed with how lovely this was. I was about to introduce Tony, having already been on, and then I was like, this is so fantastic. We can all be pals, then we get to go and just do this stuff together. Like, it's amazing. I was, and we do
all
this thing.
nervous.
I'm all nervous, and I'm like, it's
Walking by each
fine
other.
that we're nervous around each other and we're really worried or whatever. And then we say, no, it was great. Like, and then the other day I did a gig, like a private gig, not a corporate, because that would suggest a decent amount of money.
Private dancer, dancing for money.
But I did a gig and it was with Colm O'Regan and Fred Cook, who,
Oh,
by the way,
great.
is called Fred Cook and not Fred Cook.
I didn't know that.
I thought that was
wow.
his wife, Julie J, other comedian and friend of ours. She says Fred Cook. I thought she was joking, and I asked him the other day, and he's like, no, my name is Fred Cook, but I left it. And I think he said I introduced myself once on Dancing with the Stars as Fred Cook. Anyway, that's totally relevant. And I was
Isn't
telling
that brilliant that it takes 40 years in a woman to actually get you to say your own name?
that's it.
The right woman can get you to say your own name.
right
whatever.
gal.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well done, Julie.
Well done, Julie.
Think of how great I could be if I could marry a woman.
Oh my God.
Women
you'd be
make men so
unstoppable.
much better, and I
behind
know
every
that's
great
a
man.
problematic or whatever, but like, wouldn't it be fantastic? Raymond doesn't make me better at all. Do you know what I mean? We're just a couple of lads. When you break it down, we're a couple of lads.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Living in a house.
Gas.
And like,
So silly.
we're roommates. And I'm like, imagine if we were,
If there was
imagine
just
a
one woman
woman.
in there.
Like, I'm such an incredible person. And imagine I just had
You could be cleaner. You could actually be clean. There is,
that sounds like you're just saying that. If you read the transcript, it would be like, you could be cleaner. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, you could be a cleaner.
I could be a cleaner.
Yeah, in my house, because my house is messy.
I'll come over and clean your house.
No, I'm
Yeah.
actually, I don't know. I mean,
I'll
the
tidy up
state of
over
me
there.
before I was in a relationship, like I was, there was many things wrong with me. But that whole kind of like boys being messy thing, that wasn't the case with me. Like
Loads of girls are filthy pigs.
Yeah,
That's
not-
a
bit of
misconception.
representation and allowance for women to be filthy. Like, come on, let them do it.
You know, I've accidentally gone to a women's jacks a few times. And
They're worse. They're worse.
There's pretty scaldy in there.
When I worked in a pub, I remember they'd be like, you wouldn't have to do like fully cleaning the toilets or anything, but you'd have to kind of like do a little spruce, tidy up. The women just like go in and just like fuck paper everywhere and just like shit all over the counter at the mirror. And
all
Wait,
women.
it's not
Oh, they
actual
put
shine.
stuff-
All women.
No, there's just stuff everywhere, and there's like they like need one piece of paper to do their lipstick or whatever, and they seem to pull out the entire roll and then just put it on the ground. Women's toilets often, men's are obviously more disgusting.
We're pissing on a
The
wall.
gents' toilet
Yeah.
is disgusting. Yeah,
Yeah.
porcelain
Pissing
wall,
on a group wall.
farting with impunity, side by side.
Yeah, awful.
Strange.
Yeah.
But women's toilets and women can be messy. But anyway, wouldn't it be great if I could just maybe I'll pitch a show to RTE of like. It'd be called Wifey Life or something.
That's
and
strong.
I go
Wifey Life.
and live for like wife swap.
Yeah.
But I go and live with a wife. And
Oh, that's good.
And
just
then a man gets
I don't-
Ray.
I don't even know if there's a swap element. I need to see what I'll be like if I had a wife for a while.
So Brian O'Driscoll moves in with Ray, and you move in with Amy Huberman.
Amy Huberman.
And raise her kids.
Yeah.
I'd have a really great time.
Oh, you'd have a brilliant time.
You'd
It'd
have
be
a-
great.
you guys
These-
would get
that'd
on
be
so
absolute
well.
gold
They'd
TV.
probably have so much cool stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
You
they'd
could
have a lot
steal
of cool
loads
stuff.
of cool stuff.
Yeah, and I'd have to
Yeah.
figure out because they probably have all cool technology for like lights and music in their house.
Yeah.
And then I'd say, "How do you turn on this?" And Amy would say, actually, I don't know. Bryan does all that. And then I'd be like, I'll figure that out. And then I'd just be more husbandy then. How do I get wifeier? I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. Look, this is the first day of the
first
draft. So we'll get there.
And we'd have to ask Amy if she's up for it.
No.
No, I think she's probably okay.
Doorstepper. Get ship bought off while he's out just buying a croissant somewhere in the back of the
I can
van.
imagine him and Ray getting on so well as well.
it'd be great.
I think they'd have such a good time.
He probably said to Ray, do you have any sports games? And Ray'd be like, no.
No, he doesn't have any sports games.
But I can imagine
can
Bryan
watch me
really
play
getting
this
into
RPG.
anime and TV shows and stuff.
Yeah,
So
some fantasy
class.
stuff.
Some
Imagine
fancy
like
stuff,
Amy
yeah.
comes back to pick Bryan up and him and Ray are like under covers eating snacks and watching the cartoons.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, just 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes.
See,
It
even
writes
a
itself.
week if he lived with a man, he'd get worse. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though Ray is not a pig, life would become worse for Bryan.
What do you see?
just go.
Yeah. So you want to have a wife temporarily?
Yeah, I want to experience.
There's something on your head now.
Is it hair? What is wrong with me? I'm covered in. I'm
Hang on, let me
falling
get
apart.
that. Sorry.
The other day, I really made Tony laugh, and I was really pleased with it. The coffees came, takeaway coffee on a shoot. Right? Remember, we were on a shoot.
Okay.
And the coffee came, and then Tony drank out of mine by mistake. He was getting something girly, and I was getting straight black coffee because I'm such a legend. And Tony drank out of that, and then he's like, "Oh, sorry." And then I picked it up and went. I was like, "Thank God, finally," or something like that, and like made out with the cup as if I was slathering up Tony's spit. Which probably, in reality, for the sake of the joke, I did just take the hit.
Yeah, no,
did
it cracked
slather
me
up some of your spit.
You did, because it's just...
and it really made him laugh. And when you really make someone laugh kind of offside, I was chuffed about it.
Because I was like, because I felt bad, and some people are like, hey, I'm not happy with it, but I'll drink it anyway. But you doing that totally was
as if I've been waiting
so
for months to try and get a bit of Tony's slobber.
Finally.
So you went to the
Those
spa.
bits.
Yeah,
Yes.
you went to the spa.
I did a good bit
nice
at
spa.
Anna's birthday, a bit like that, where Anna was getting ready and stuff like that, nervous about going out and all this kind of stuff. And then I walked into the bedroom and she was like, getting ready, doing all her makeup. And I walked in and I went, Marilyn Monroe, what are you doing here? Anna's going to be back any second.
That's very strong.
You can't be here. She'll be Marilyn, you have to get out of here. It was a
very
good
good.
bit. And she was like, shut up. But it was
Yeah,
kind of a
yeah.
happy shut up.
it broke through.
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe, you have to get out of the house.
Now I kind of want to go out with Killian.
That's cute.
That
it
sounds
worked.
fun.
It worked. So that's a good bit for anyone who wants to do that. Or you could do with with a man, I guess you can do
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Brad
Wow,
Pitt.
I was wondering, I was thinking Brad Pitt. Isn't that amazing? That
Brad Pitt is the go-to
Isn't that
hunk.
crazy?
Yeah.
Well, imagine he being him. Imagine being like the punchline of hot guy. The most hottest guy in the world.
Also, a shit dad, right? Shit dad.
Allegedly.
Again, I'm starting to care less and less for the celebrities and their scandals. I'm like,
I think it happened after
don't.
COVID. I think when celebrities started getting COVID, I was like, but I'm getting COVID.
You're so
I don't
annoyed
care.
with the
give a
COVID.
shit.
I thought that was good. We disagreed on this before.
What?
When Tom Hanks was like, well, we've been diagnosed with COVID and we'll see how we go. And Tony was like, shut the fuck up.
No, I didn't think shut the fuck up, but it made me realize, I love Tom Hanks, but I don't care that
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I mean?
agree.
And it was-
Idris
and-
Elba did it, and he's one of my favorite actors, but he did that, and I was like, why am I getting a fucking press announcement that
Because some people
my
would
granny
be really,
can have that and die?
some people would be really scared at the time, and then it was like it humanized it or something.
I suppose I didn't see it that way at the time.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
know.
what
I didn't see that because everyone had it, so it was like it was already humanized. Like
It wasn't that everyone had it at the time.
I just think that we don't give a shit about celebrities anymore in that kind of way, and I think that's probably fine.
That is it. I think there's going to be a turn. I don't know
probably
whether that's
fine.
I feel it. The other day I was in the airport and there's like perfume and like Julia Roberts there with several wigs and she's absolutely beautiful and her enormous smile.
So
she has 86 teeth and she looks absolutely incredible. And it's like it wasn't that she's beaming with her famous movie star smile. Arguably one of the most famous smiles and most celebrated.
Yes.
For sure. Yes.
And I was like, it's not so much that she's beaming at us. I felt like, no, obviously I'm not in the market for that perfume, but it felt like you're sneering at us. It was like, you want to buy this shit? You won't even smell like me, but look at me. I get $20 million if I want to do a film and I can just do one if I want. Like, fuck off.
It is
Why am I
yeah.
buying this thing? And then they all do the like
They're idols.
Hemsworths on watches. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. This idol thing.
It's an idol.
I think that's going to turn. Actually, relatedly, in COVID, I remember seeing Bryan Dobson Bryan Dobson was
I like that you
reporting.
related this.
RTE newsman, now retired, Bryan Dobson was doing a broadcast from his home, and I was like, them mahogany bookshelves look pretty fucking nice, Brian, right? I could see he had a little setup, and I get that. And then they all started to ease up on that. You notice the celebrities stopped doing their Zoom backgrounds, were no longer their glorious thing. It was always like a wall or like, I'm just in my office. And I was like, But I think the tide will turn soon. And my predictions were correct. I also said we're going to have the most annoying election. And a lot of people have showed me Healy Ray doing the apple dance. Is that what he's doing?
Yeah.
A really long time after the apple dance is finished now. Brat Summer is actually over, so I don't know who advised him to do that.
He was very good though.
Yeah, he was good.
I was surprised at his choreography and rhythm.
Yeah, he learned it. But people have sent me that, and I was like, I told you, this is what's going to happen.
Anna worked in a pizza place, and Bryan Dobson would come in to collect his pizzas, and he would walk in and go, Bryan Dobson? Like that for his pizza. It's his full name.
Bryan Dobson.
Yeah, like that.
I have another Bryan
She
Dobson.
said it was the
I
only
have a
other.
Bryan Dobson story.
I've got one
Yours.
more as well. Okay, we'll all do our Dobsons and then.
Okay, this is great.
But just my friend,
Bryan Dobson.
my friend Sean, when he was a kid,
So funny.
he liked Bryan Dobson so much that he used to hug the telly when he was
Oh,
on.
that is cute.
But he does have a kind of huggable face, doesn't he? He has a kind of warm, huggable energy.
Yeah. Okay, what about... Okay, I'll do two. One time... I had to go to get... I was working on a show for RTE, but it wasn't in RTE, but for some reason they wouldn't pay someone to go and do the makeup on the site of the shoot. So I had to go to RTE, and I was actually very hungover. I shouldn't have been. That was unprofessional. And I went into the desk, and I was like, hiya, I'm here to get my makeup done. They're like, what? I was like, sorry, I just started again. And then I was trying to... And I couldn't get the words out. I meant like, they sent me here, the girl is be waiting, Anyway, I fucked it up, and then Bryan Dobson came in at the same time, and I was embarrassed in front of Bryan Dobson. Then my other Bryan Dobson...
Is he eating a pizza?
Huh? My other Bryan Dobson is that one of his children used to do the swimming where we did the swimming, and she was nervous of the water, and Bryan Dobson had to get into the water.
Oh, that's nice.
Now, as I said that out loud, that does sound like, when you twist many memories together.
Yes.
That does sound a bit like that. The other day I started telling Raymond a story about my past, and I was like...
did that happen?
I actually don't know.
You don't know if
I
that
actually
happened.
don't know if that's true or not.
I bet you visualize him in the suit getting into the water.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Maybe.
That's what I
I
thought.
imagined him getting in the suit.
Down the shallow end. What do you think? I'm touching you both in the shoulder.
now
What do you
in
think?
the shallow
Can I
end.
tell my Bryan Dobson story?
Yeah, he's got a
over
whole
to
Dobson over there.
Over to Tony with
Give
his
us your
Bryan
BD.
Dobson
Do you know what
story.
I feel like? I went to go see. Now, this is not the. I'm taking a moment here to not talk about Bryan Dobson, right? I went to go see.
Tony, this is
Bryan
all
Dobson
of our
section of
podcast.
I went to go
podcast.
see Boyzone, or as Terry would call them, Boyzone, because she emphasizes the wrong part.
Weirdo.
I went to go see Boyzone in Hyde Park in London. Anyway, they were all there apart from Stephen, of course, who sadly died. And there was a song that they played, and they played Stephen's part, and then everyone kind of did a bit of a kind of tribute to him. So Ronan's like, look, just with Stephen, he's the voice of an angel. We love him so much. And then Keith was like, actually, I just want to say a few words about Stephen as well. And then Shane was like, actually, do you know, I wouldn't mind saying a few words about Stephen. And everyone the whole time bawling and crying. And then Mikey gets on and he was like, look, I actually do want to say something about Stephen as well. And then everyone was kind of like, all right, but like the time limit of the song was kind of running out.
Yeah.
So he had to kind of cut it really short. That's what I feel right now. I feel like Mikey Graham doing a tribute to Stephen Gately now.
No, it's
I feel
not
like we're
that at
burnt
all.
out
Yeah,
on Bryan Dobson's
And
stories.
I think that's fine.
I think the audience
is
would have
normal.
I think the audience.
The
Where was that? Where was that? In the
appetite
point?
I was in Hyde Park
In
in
Hyde
London.
Park, I think the audience would have been ready for that. I mean, certainly in Ireland, we're great with death. So I think
yeah.
for them to talk about that would be really,
That'd be tough
they'd
for
be
them.
so fine with that.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the UK visitors, they'd be like, why are they doing it like this? But then,
Well, because
for Irish
obviously
people, great with
they
death.
were telling stories as well about Stephen. And
Yeah.
so you had Irish people on stage telling stories.
Telling
which I
stories
think-
about death.
And that's
which they're
so,
very good.
comes so natural.
Comes so natural. They're very
We're
good at it.
storytellers
Which I
about
think,
death.
yeah, so I think that kind of quelled their insecurities about it. Anyway, my mate John, and I'll ask him afterwards if I can mention this on the pod, but he worked as an intern.
In Torn.
A centaur.
Nothing's right, I'm torn. Fuck you, Killian, you weren't in on it.
What is
Yeah.
that again? No,
Not Liam
I'm
Bruglia.
not. No, I love that song. Great
Did you say
stuff.
what is that? You should know that instantly.
No, I do know.
There's something
With the
Too
with the
loud.
jumper that goes over her sleeves go over her hands.
Yes,
That's it.
yes.
I think of Natalie
Bruglia.
Bruglia. I think of sleeves over hands, and then that's kind of like that sort of.
What about lying naked on the floor?
Oof. Let's see that
What is
video.
it? Nothing's come on.
As a kid, I was
Great
like, why is
music
she doing on the
video.
floor naked?
What's she doing on the floor?
She's in there. People are doing house viewings, and we've all experienced that in the renters market when you're living in the place, but the people want to move you on, and they do house viewings while you're in there, and that's what I mean. I
went to a house
really
viewing,
aligned
right,
with-
and there was nothing in there but like.
Wait,
a
I
white...
want to hear your Dobson.
No,
sorry.
I went in just on the Natalie Imbruglia music video. I went into the house viewing, and there was it was just a white room, and there was just one guy in there with a really big hat, and he just kept coming towards me, almost like he was on a conveyor belt. That was really weird.
Is that
It's just doing
Then there's a
virtual-
few bugs and blood.
There was a few bugs and blood. I was doing a virtual insanity music video joke. Anyway, Bryan Dobson.
I got there. Yeah.
Sometimes I see tweets that say, I was today years old when I learned that Jamiroquai is the name of the group and the guy is called JK. Well, where the fuck were you?
Yeah.
Pay attention, you loser. Tony,
So Bryan
your friend was an
Dobson-
intern.
My friend was an intern. My friend thought he saw a man brought to life. No, my friend was an intern at RTE, and he used to have his lunch in the office on the weekends. Right, there was an office, and it was Bryan Dobson's office, but Bryan Dobson was never there. So one Saturday, Bryan Dobson had to come in because he had to do like a read in advance for the news or something like that, or something. Actually, that makes me sound weird.
Yeah.
Those fucking puppets pulling the strings, making the news days before it happened.
Wait, he's reading the news in advance of the news happening.
I
they
don't
were.
know. It was a pre-record or something
Of
of the
course
news.
they were.
Bryan
Of course
Dobson
they
is
were.
the
They fucking
Illuminati.
weren't.
RTE are the virus.
They're the virus. Anyway, so he was in there in Bryan Dobson's office, and he was watching football highlights on his computer, and he had his feet up on the desk. Bryan Dobson came in, and he was like, gave him kind of a look, and my mate Sean was, oh, sorry, oh God, I'm so sorry about that, whatever, and clicked off, and he was like, fixing everything, and Bryan Dobson was like, hey, don't worry about it, you can hang out here anytime. And then, the next Saturday, he went into the room, and Bryan Dobson had changed the password on his computer, which just it was cracking me up. Was it worth it?
Well, I don't know. There's an allegation there against Bryan Dobson.
What?
You're alleging that he changed his password.
You're
That
alleging.
could have been just a normal IT
I
protocol.
think the bigger thing is that he's actually coming up with news days before.
That's
What I talk about today. That's what he does.
that's what you decided that he was doing.
Well, now that I say it out, because I heard that story like 10 years ago, and then I was like, oh, that's weird.
Maybe
But,
Bryan Dobson makes the news and he's God and he kind of decides he has a master plan and that's
like
what he's
Evan
actually,
Almighty.
yes, something like that. Yeah. So he's actually going and the news of the world is written in an office in RTE and it's Dobson.
But I did an interview in the Indo magazine, and I was going there, and I was just seeing I was like, oh, I'm in this magazine, and like you see everyone on the tabloid things, and OK or whatever, Grazia. I don't know if you fucking know the name of the magazines. You might see, I don't know, Brian Dowling's fella on the cover of the RTE Guide and all this stuff. And
Emma Doran does be on them.
Emma Doran does be on them.
She does be on them.
But having actually been not on the cover, but having been in things, I now know that the only reason you're seeing people on there is not because of some journalist curating what you need to know. It's that person wants to be there and has gone out of their way to kind of ask to be there.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? The publicity team behind them have spent money to get them on the cover to talk about whatever it is they need to talk about.
Yeah.
And it just made me realize that, you could walk in there and be like, oh, what are we being informed about today? But it is literally the person. Every bit of news and every kind of press release and every kind of picture is that someone wanted you to see them.
Yeah.
It's not,
And behind it
not
all,
funny.
Dobson's pulling the strings.
And behind it all, Dobson's making up the news.
That's why you're on the buses at the moment as well.
Because I wanted that
Can
to
I
happen.
propose or set you maybe in Ireland at the moment, you might be on the most buses.
Wow.
I'm just thinking Dublin Bus has Tony on the bus at the moment with Good Boy, his TV show, which is amazing. You should all go watch.
Thanks
but
so much.
also previously you were on a River Rock bus thing.
Wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Do you think maybe you've been on the most buses for any Irish person?
No, who's your man who's wearing the helmet and is on this Lotto ad? He's an actor. I should know his name. Brian.
Brian.
Brian. What's his name again? He's great.
Quinn.
Brian Quinn.
Yes.
Brian Quinn probably been on a lot.
He'd been on the buses.
He's been
already.
a face
You've been
of
on
a lot
more
of things.
buses. I think you've been on more buses.
Buses
You've
and
had
bus
two
stops.
campaigns.
And you wait your whole life for it to be on the side of a bus and then and loads come
Yeah.
at the same time.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It is okay. It's actually, where's the fucking, hang on a second. If you're not going to give it to me, then I will.
Say your joke again.
Hang on. Fucking hell.
You pressed the wrong button. You pressed the wrong button.
What a loser. It was very popular to hate Boyzone when I was in the Bun School in primary school. For boys. Boys would hate Boyzone publicly.
Whoa.
But actually, you'd like it. And because children like pop music like that. And I remember one boy slipped up, right? We were walking, he used to get the bus at the top of the road and I would walk up top of the road with him and he'd go left and I go right. And we were walking up one day and he was talking about this other girl called something. Armstrong was her name.
Thing.
Anyway, he's like, she's gone off. She's going to Boyzone in town to the Boyzone concert. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. And he said, so jealous. And I went, of Boyzone? And he went, no, I mean, and then I, even though we were like probably 9, I understood what he'd done and he was emasculated himself in that moment. And I dug him out of it and I was like, yeah, just to go to any concert would probably be good.
That's good.
And I helped him out of it. And he was like,
sweetie.
yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. Yeah,
You had the moment there. You had the power. You had him here, and you could have destroyed him. But instead, you offered that hand and gave him a pathway to glory. That's really.
I'm generous of spirit.
That was very
Generous
nice.
with, if not from my purse, then from my presses. That's a line. That's a line I took from somebody's
What is that?
eulogy. I shouldn't have said that. Years ago, there was a family member died, and someone did a eulogy and they said, talking about someone being generous, and went, if not from her purse, then from her presses, which I thought was
lovely
an absolutely beautiful
gorgeous
line.
phrase.
Yeah.
You can't be
I know,
quoting other people's eulogies.
I know you can't. You can't.
No. Did you turn and go, God, she nailed that?
No, look.
That's good. You're very good at storing that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's amazing. That you
Well, it
remember
was
both those
impactful.
things.
I liked the, obviously I liked alliteration. I was in primary school at the time, so it wasn't, anyway. But yeah, I was like, wow, love that.
Westlife, they were more... and
Your generation.
And like, I think...
Well, I want to know, whoever told you I was letting go?
Can't believe I'm the fool again.
Yeah, well, when you're looking like that.
Well done, everybody.
Great job, everyone.
Well done. Where's the hooter?
No, Westlife were cool and are cool, and that's I saw a podcast interview where it's two of the lads, Brian talking to, I think it's Kian or Nicky or one of those ones, talking full on about like him leaving, and it seems like a very open, honest conversation.
Wow.
Right. Well, why don't we take on ISIS? No weapons, just man to man. Mark from Westlife, who now goes by Marcus.
Wow.
I have to send him a message because he follows me on Instagram for some reason or other. And
It's a great community.
I have a work thing I want to ask him. And I'm procrastinating so hard. Like my only connect to him is through Instagram, but I'm also I bought a new laptop and I'm waiting for the new laptop because I spilled coffee in my old laptop, and then I'm like,
You better not be messaging him about that.
I can't. No, I'm not messaging about the laptop or the coffee.
Get on to Alison, who'll get on to Kerry Katona, who'll get on to Brian McFadden, who'll get on to him.
I don't think Kerry and Brian McFadden are on speaking terms. I wouldn't think.
Aww.
But I'm procrastinating so hard that I'm like away from my laptop. I'm not going to use my laptop to contact him on Instagram. Do you know what I mean?
love that. If the way that you contacted him was through the chain of people who were very
Alison, Kerry, one of their kids.
One of their kids.
Dad, will you get on to Marcus?
Mark,
I
who
don't
also
know.
don't talk to anymore.
Yeah.
Brian McFadden moved to Australia and left those kids and still made fun of Kerry Katona and picked at her in the press, the gutter press, of course. And it was like, well, if you're so worried about her, why don't you come home to your children then? How
Well, if
about that?
not from his purse, from the press.
Stop! Don't sully that.
Well,
Don't sully that because
He wasn't
I know.
paying child support, so he thought he wasn't from his person.
I don't know whether he was paying or not.
I don't
for
know
the
what it was.
children. I don't know if he was paying, but I know he went to Australia and thought he could marry Delta Goodrum.
Well, he did do it.
Delta Goodrum, too good for him, if you ask me. Delta Goodrum was in Neighbours.
Yeah.
There was a while in my
Delta,
life I
in
watched
parentheses,
Neighbours.
two
There
good.
Did
was
you guys look, I just saw you guys look over me with it just when you said Delta Goodrum.
Do you
and
know
I just
her?
had a total kind of like fear in my eyes. And
Yeah.
then you just immediately explained it to me because I was
Delta
just like,
Goodrum was in
what the fuck
Neighbours.
is Delta Goodrum?
Neighbours has a good tradition of singers, including Natalie Imbruglia,
Kylie Minogue,
Kylie
Jason Donovan.
Minogue, Jason Donovan. Jason Donovan in trouble since.
Hemsworth.
Well, they're not
Both.
singers, but the Chris Hemsworth. What's the hot girl everyone loves? Barbie.
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie, the girl who has a name I can't remember, but she's in horror films. She's also in
know, Killian,
Treatment.
you don't need to
no,
worry
she's
about-
Home and Away. She's
You
Home and
don't
Away.
need to worry about all these references because you're going to probably outlive us by like 5 years or whatever.
Okay.
And I think the last 5 years of your life, you're going to like be finding new references and be like, you didn't get that one, did you?
Didn't know about that.
Didn't know about that.
Just after I've done my In the Presses eulogy on Shane's.
Stop saying that. That's desperate. I
Shane
shouldn't
was
have said
generous,
that.
if not from his pockets.
Neither from his purse Or his
presses.
His
He
penis.
wouldn't let us. He wouldn't give us any cash.
And I
He never
remember,
let us into his
and I
gaff.
remember, I remember talking about Lord
You've both been in my house. This thing came up recently, the house thing. I don't want people to come into my house. It's how I like it. We also moved a table in the house. I tell you, I'll actually bring us in to show you that next time.
Oh,
Love
thank you.
moving stuff.
From the door. You can see it from the door.
Yeah, you can look at it from the door. I also bought a €24 candle in Aldi.
Oh my
and
God.
It has 4 wicks, and I'm
John Wick.
sorry, but it's amazing. It's
20 in Aldi.
in Aldi, €24. It's
€24 in Aldi. That
Yes.
sounds
Insane.
impossibly
How big is it?
expensive.
2.1 kilogram candle.
Wow.
And it's pumpkin spice, which I'm not really into that kind of thing, but actually it smells okay. You know, I don't really like the
You
fake
gave it a
smell.
dry
Here,
whiff.
what's going on? No one's. I think that must be the most expensive thing
That
anyone's
must
ever
be
bought in
the
Aldi.
most expensive thing you can buy. You could get an actual like charcoal barbecue, one of those like fake egg barbecues for cheaper
What are you
than that
buying?
candle.
24? Was it 24.99?
It was $23.99, so
Okay.
I
bought it.
rounded it up.
Rounded up.
I asked Raymond, I said, can we get this? And he said, no, that was a joke because I'm in charge.
€24 candle.
But like I said, and he's like, if you want to get it, as if I needed his permission.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? But anyway, I got it. And then, do you know, I'm not even.
Amy never made me ask. Amy never made me ask.
I don't think Amy
I wish
Huberman and
Brian
Brian
was here.
I don't think they worry about €24 at all. I think they're okay for it. But I'm sorry, but sometimes just do it. In
How
a
big
year's
is it?
time,
Do you
I
have
won't
do you have
go.
space for it?
Yeah, on the table, we're in its new position.
You lighting off 4 wicks?
Of course, I'm lighting all 4 wicks.
Oh my God, how long is that going to last?
I don't know, but I've had it on like 2 full days. I tell you, candles.
Jesus.
Back to the origins of Young Hot Guys. Candles. We're coming up to our 1 year anniversary of this
We
podcast.
are, yeah.
What are we going to do?
Christmas. I think we should take our clothes off and have people. No, I don't know. Maybe another gift exchange. Get it right this time, Killian.
Okay.
Well, that's Christmas, but we didn't start at Christmas.
No, when do we start?
Next
November.
month is our anniversary.
I think
I don't know. Like, what do you? I mean,
Probably
just
have a
keep
science
plugging
guest
away.
on
I
this, but-
guess forever. That's what the
I
nature
know.
of this
I
thing
would like
is.
to. We need to do something. Just it's good to mark these things. We'll
Yeah.
do something. I don't know. We'll think of something.
podcast in my car.
Why don't we end the podcast? Why don't we never do it again?
Why not? What do you
I
got? Some
don't know.
offers?
No, I mean,
I need this.
me and Nikki and Brian McFadden are starting a podcast.
No, yeah.
You and Nicky Byrne. Nicky Byrne started a podcast. That's what happened.
That's it, yeah. And he had Brian
Nicky
on.
Byrne started a
Yeah,
podcast.
Nicky Daniel Byrne.
Nicky Daniel Byrne.
Yeah.
I was at the Panto once, and Nicky Byrne and his children, Rocco and Jay, the twins, they came in to the Panto after everyone had already been seated.
Who would you most like to be in a panto?
What do you mean?
I would like to be the villain so that you could do that
Oh,
bit
yeah.
in the curtain call then
Oh, yeah.
where you come out and you're angry and gruff and everyone goes boo and then you break into a big beaming smile and you sing whatever the current pop song
Yeah.
they've adapted into
Wow.
Sleeping Beauty is.
You get it. You get like you
Are
get
the
the whole
Panto's
thing.
going to have Charlie XCX this year?
You'd probably go out and be like, I got my head at the sunroof.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
blasting my favorite tune.
Yeah, and I have tights for whatever reason.
yeah.
Keep it tights.
Laws of gravity.
That's good.
That was about 7
That
songs. I think so. I don't know.
Defying the laws of gravity.
Or that
Yeah.
laughing monkey song on TikTok. Doop, 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 doop.
Oh, God.
What's that? I don't know that one. No, I think the
remember.
Pantos this year are going to have Charlie XCX and Chapel Rowan. I think those will
It'll
be
be Chapel
the those will be
Rowan,
the
yeah.
songs they incorporate into, because the apple is in fairy tales. So if you're doing Snow White, she has an apple. She bites the apple, doesn't she?
She does.
So if you're doing Snow White, you can have I think the apple. I don't know the words of that song.
That'd be good, yeah.
Yeah, and then but I think how would you do it?
Let's
I
do a
remember they
Panto.
had
Is there still time?
Pokemon in mine. I remember.
There was a Pokemon in
He
your
picked
Panto?
up Pikachu and he went, Pikachu, I love this fella. Eh.
That's very strong.
That's all I
I'd be
remember.
going apeshit if that was me in the audience.
I remember being at the
I did
Panto
love it. I
in the
loved it.
Gaiety, and it was when clamping came in. Clamping, we talk about the other week we went through this current scandals of the various scandals in Ireland. Clamping was a big bloody deal.
So it started. Was it?
I'd
People found
say-
out at the Panto.
Wild guess.
They went outside and
I'd
thought
say
all their
be
cars had been clamped.
1999.
Clampo at
Yeah.
the Gaiety last night.
Well, Clampamime. Yeah.
Clamp a mime.
But,
It's behind you. It's actually in front of you, the future of clamping.
Yeah.
How
Look,
jealous were you of Panto kids? The kids on stage.
I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to die how dramatic. I wanted to jump off the balcony, the circle in the gate. I wanted to jump. I was like, let me be a part of this, please. Don't you know I could dance around? Now, I don't think I actually would have had the chops for it as a kid, really. I mean, in reality, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But I wanted what they had.
You need a demented mother.
I wanted, like, they got to be up there dancing with the Carter twins.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very deep cut there, the Carter twins.
Wow.
They were maybe a Louis Walsh vehicle. They were twins by the surname Carter. You know the Carters.
I saw Samantha Mumba pre-fame in a panto.
Right.
She was a panto kid.
We would have all seen on the
With
toy
Dust-
on the
with
toy show.
Dustin
She was a Billy Barry
and
kid.
Twink. Dustin and Twink pantos. I used to
Yeah,
go to
that
every
was
year.
used to be Pantos. Yeah, you went to Olympia then.
I went to Olympia.
Yeah, we went to the Gaiety, which would have had June Rogers.
Wow.
And she's, I believe, in residence in the Red Cow. Or something.
We have an unbelievable little thing in our house. It's a little tiny newspaper cutout of a photo from the newspaper. And on the back of it, so maybe like an 11-year-old or 12-year-old, my mum, Fiona, wrote on the back of it, saw this guy in the pantomime last night. I thought he was really, really lovely and handsome. And then on the front of it, it's a 14-year-old, what's his name? Mr. Eurovision.
Johnny Logan?
Johnny Logan. It's a 14-year-old Johnny Logan. And my mum, as a child, saw him and went, there's something in that guy.
Wow.
Yeah. And she
Your mum's
fancied-
your agent now as well. She kept it going. Yeah,
She got me into the pantos as a kid.
She needs to stop taking credit, though, for all the songs, though.
Should I be doing the lights?
She's made that a bit weird, being like, I actually wrote Hold Me Now.
There's panto kids, there's panto kids, but they're just doing the set deck and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Set deck?
Yeah. Like they're doing the decoration of the set and they're doing the
set
lights and
deck.
things like
Okay,
that.
got
They're
it, yeah.
lifting things. It's a child labour issue, actually.
No, it's fine.
I wouldn't trust them.
It's fine.
I wouldn't want them hanging
Tony,
the
when
lights.
you went to the Panto as a child, this should be really for a Christmas episode. But
Ah, yeah,
we
look
do what we
here. Here we
like
are.
here.
Do what we like here.
Somebody might be listening to this at Christmas. If you are, because people sometimes message and go, "Oh my God, just listen to all your podcasts. It's so fun. I binged it over the past 2 weeks." So if you
Very
are listening
nice
to that,
messages.
send us a message and go, "I actually was listening around Christmas week."
Yeah.
I bet you did you get spinny glowy things bought for you?
Of
course he did.
Absolutely.
Of course he did.
Absolutely. Got popcorn and candy floss.
Oh my God.
Got probably a big pint of Coke or whatever like that.
Those
with a
little ice
straw,
creams.
Ice cream. If there was a t-shirt that literally someone was ironing on a picture of Dustin onto a t-shirt outside with a generator and I could buy it like counterfeit goods. The whole shebang, the whole kit and caboodle.
See, and you seem fine. Because I think
I have the love of
think
a
that-
good woman.
and some but I
Because I have
think
the love of a
think he's
good
fine?
woman.
I think he's probably fine, like broadly. Because I think I'm
quite
like,
broad.
oh well, my parents taught us a good lesson, and don't just flit money away and all this kind of thing. And then you got the money flitted away, and you seem grand. So
Yeah.
actually, to my parents,
Spoil your kids.
fuck you.
Well, I
What
can
the
still.
fuck?
But that's the opposite of Terry. Terry would everything she had was I don't know, fucking wooden or handmade or, you know what I mean? It was, I don't know. We walk out of a shop and so here's an example, in your holidays and you put a coin into one of those, where they're outside supermarkets, the cars that the
Yes.
kids can sit
Oh,
in or
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
like that. They now have contactless. So I'm getting the kids in there beep, 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 beep.
You're like a granny.
That is the opposite of what Terry, that kind of thing, of that
Yeah.
kind of one time, she was probably given out to too hard for asking and that it snuffed it out. You know what I mean? Or those coins you get some stupid fucking barely even plastic little key ring from a thing or a bouncy ball. I get all those for the kids because I always got them, and I love those. I love those little, those little bonuses that you get. She would be the exact opposite. I think she was probably told off quite a lot for getting those kind of things.
Don't tell your mommy.
Don't tell your mammy now. Don't tell mammy now. Coming in with a fucking light up jacket. Where'd you get that?
But that's what I think grandparents are for.
Yeah.
Buying
If
all
someone
that
had
crap.
told me how much fun grandkids were, I would have skipped kids.
would have been cheaper.
Would have been cheaper. Would have been impossible. Fridge magnet. It actually wouldn't have been impossible, my ma's fridge magnet. So,
Does your mom have that in a fridge magnet?
yeah. Probably mostly, I love my Bichon Frise. This is a Bichon Frise household. The Bichon Frise is the master here.
Are they little white hairy dogs?
Yeah. We are subs and Bichon Frise is Dom. Is one.
Right. Yeah.
My
Minorca.
friend found a photo of these two old women, a photograph on just somewhere in Shankill, and then he decided, just as a little social experiment, to put it on his family fridge to see how long. He was there for 3 years or something. No one ever noticed. Everyone just assumed it was somebody. It was just two random old women.
I like that. That's
That's
a
a
good
nice
idea.
prank if you're ever thinking of doing something.
That's
like
very
that.
sweet.
I
That's
do
very
like
funny.
that. I think because as well, I don't think I think you give a shit less as you get older, so you wouldn't really pay attention to that kind of thing.
But the funny thing is, because it's been there for 3 years, they decided to just keep it because they were like, well, they've been there for that long. Like, they're kind of part of them.
Yeah, you'd need them then.
You couldn't get rid of them. It would feel wrong. They're the people from the fridge.
That's the thing. My friend, my friend Jordan, not English Jordan, he was sending me a WhatsApp being like, do you ever see all the gone off sauces in your parents' fridge? Like he had he lined up all the sauces that were there, and it just made me realize like when parents have a fridge, they probably they're always darting in just they know the butter or whatever. Some parents keep bread in the fridge. We would be one of them, my family. But like they probably only actually look at like 20% of their fridge and probably just ignore the rest. Yeah. You know what I mean? How much of your fridge do you actually look at?
Well, the other day, I was over at my parents' house when I had my birthday dinner, and I asked thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I asked my dad, do you have Branston pickle? And I went to take it out of the fridge, and my dad did the opposite. He went, no, leave that. He said, throw that away. That Branston pickle's old. And he went, there's a new one. And then he went rifling through various drawers and found a fresh one. And I tell you, I felt loved. I felt loved. I was like, he doesn't want me to have that old scabby old Branston pickle. He wants me to have the fresh Branston pickle. So,
what was the expiry? Did it still have a pound sticker on it?
I think probably both of them may have been expired. Look, that's not the point.
Pickle doesn't go bad.
Pickle's probably fine, yeah. That's the only...
Daddy, can I please have Branston pickle?
What the fuck is Branston pickle?
You're too posh to know what Branston pickle is.
What is it? Have my Branston pickle?
What's Branston pickle?
It's like brown, vinegary pickled stuff, but it's brown and it's in squares. So I don't know actually what's in there, but it's...
Protestants have it.
You have it. Is it Protestant? I thought it was kind of more working classy vibes. I don't know.
Protestant.
It's not German anyway. We like pickle stuff.
I don't know. I feel like I'm not going to get into some, what? No way. We don't have, smash your head against the wall.
My brother's 18th birthday party, we didn't let when people were coming in, they had to eat a full pickle.
Oh my God, you guys are crazy.
What's that for?
Just a bit of crack. I don't know.
Wow.
It's a bit of fun.
What's the German for jackass?
I don't know.
Jackass.
Jackar.
Jackarsch. Well.
Johann Ars.
Johann Ars. Well, look, if that was probably the best joke to top off what has been a lovely, delightful episode of the Young Hot Guys. Please.
It started off pretty shit, this podcast, but I think it got nice.
That was my favourite type of podcast.
I enjoyed it. Did you? Let us know.
At YHG Pod on Instagram. And there are still some tickets available for our gig in the Olympia. 2 gigs, multiple. So if you would like to see us treading the bards as Dustin and Clint might have, you can do so. Ticketmaster tickets available there.
Let's end on a song.
Bye.
They're attractive.
They're very attractive.
Hot and loud.
And a little bit sad.
He was the best guy around.
Oh my, is it hot in here or what?
You're an attractive guy.
It's the fabulous Tony Cantwell.
I'm talking about Shane Daniel Byrne.
Killian, Sundermann!